was taken out, followed by Iwa Nilip, who's been on the podium this season already, climbing the world rankings herself at ranked 43rd in the world. Nilip led for a lot of that quarter-final match, in fact, but GORAM able to pull things back together and get into this semi-final. Meanwhile, Sun Yi-wen, well, she's had a fairly comfortable ride through the tournament. She beat Svistel of Ukraine in the first round, Shimokawa of Japan in the second, Napik Miazga. That was a good fight in the third round of 16 fences, and then took out Christmann, who's been having a great day here in the top 70 in the world. The German will definitely climb the rankings, but Sun Yi-wen beat her to make this semi-final match. These two, Sun and GORAM, have only met once so far, back in the 2014 Havana Grand Prix in the pool stages, when the fencers fight up to 5 hits, and it was Sun Yi-wen who won that fight 5-2. Not really too much of an indicator, to be honest with you. A match up to 15 is tactically very different to a pool stage match up to 5 hits. But we'll have Sun on your right and GORAM on your left. David Kralik is indeed the referee for this match. The Slovakian will get things underway just as soon as Melissa GORAM has got her mask on. So second semi-final here, Barcelona Women's Epee World Cup. First action for the women's epeists here in 2017. And here we go. Another couple of left-handers here, as we saw in the first semi-final. And I'll notice, though, that Sun is holding her weapon in a slightly different place to GORAM. She's using a pommel grip, so it's a straight grip, and she can play around with the amount of reach that she has by holding the weapon closer to the guard or further away. The further away from the guard, the longer the reach, but also the less accurate and less strength you have when trying to knock your opponent's blade out of the way. GORAM uses the more orthodox pistol grip, and called so because when you hold it, it does feel a little bit like you're holding a gun. Sort of shaped to your hand, gives you a bit of greater control, smaller movements of the blade. Early stages here, but we saw earlier on today that Sun was quite happy to play non-combativity. Now, just a little prepper, if you don't know what that is, it means that two fencers can use the time to basically not fight each other. The referee won't allow that to go on for too long, and after a minute of no real purposeful action, the referee will call halt and move straight into the next period. It looks to me like GORAM is not going to let Sun do that. She's going to make a fence. She's going to make her actually contend the fight for the full period of 9 minutes, if that's needed, of course. And what that means is that GORAM is not confident that she's going to be able to take Sun on head-to-head in a final minute of fencing. She wants to try and win this fight bit by bit. Sun is the world number 6, and she's able to adapt, and she's taking the fight to GORAM. As GORAM steps too close, Sun punishes her with a hit on the inside of the wrist. You have to say that GORAM was a bit fortunate there to get a double. I mean, it was down to her reaction speed that managed to get her the double, but in fact, Sun set a perfect trap there, luring GORAM into distance without the French fencer actually doing anything, and it was Sun that launched the attack. And GORAM just stuck her arm out to get the double hit. Two fencers signalling that they don't want to continue fencing. The referee is shaking his head saying that he's not going to just let them leave 30 seconds on the clock. It gets down to 15 before David Kralik calls for a minute's break, and there we see Melissa Goram. This is the furthest she's ventured into a World Cup competition. Top 16 is the best finisher all the way back in 2014. So this is her first appearance on the podium piste, on the medal piste at a competition, and that in itself will probably generate a few nerves. I think she has to try and contain those nerves and try and enjoy herself. She's guaranteed herself a first major medal. Look down at the other end of the piste, and we have Sun Yuen on your left there in the full white fencing gear. Nice Chinese flag, or the abstract of a Chinese flag on her arm, talking with new Chinese coach Hughes Aubry. Hughes talking to Sun through the translator there. He's a French speaker and using the translator to get his point across. Hughes has in some respects had too good a day, because he was due to be in the commentary box this evening for these medal matches, but good on him. He's got his fencer into the medal matches, and she looks good at the moment. Tactically strong, yes, of course she's leading, but she looks in control of the match, and it's likely that we're going to see her going through if things continue this way, and she will contest for the gold medal later on. Let's see what Melissa Goram can do. She certainly has to change things. She started to move around a little bit more, close the distance, open it back up again, and then launch the deceptively fast step-step lunge. Immediately Sun goes to change the distance as well. Goram takes one step forward, Sun takes 2 steps away before then starting to push forward herself, not allowing Goram to control the distance. Nice attempt there, feinting into the high line, so faking up into the high line from the Chinese fencer and trying to duck down below the counter-attack and land in the low line. Wasn't successful with the avoiding tactics, so gets a double. But now you see Sun is prepared to take Goram on. And this time, a slightly slower approach on the first step created the opportunity for her to then land a ducking counter-attack. The slower step lured Goram into attacking, and then Sun ducked out of the way. This is what Goram has to do. Goram has to just take control of the distance. She does have to be the aggressor. And yes, there is an element of risk in that tactic, but if she gives Sun the space to play with the distance, Sun is just too good at the moment. You hear me talking about distance. If you want a sort of easy way of understanding it, just look at the front feet of the two fencers. Try and ignore what's going on above the waist. Look at the front feet, and you'll see that one fencer is dominating with their front foot. They're deciding how big the distance between the front feet is. That tends to be the fencer who is controlling the fight at that point. That tends to give you a very good clue as to who is dominating the tactical and distance battle. And usually is a good indicator of who's leading. So we get a non-combativity called there. We suspected that if Goram did step off, that Sun would play that. Now what that means is the referees decided the two aren't fencing each other, they aren't going at each other, and so the second period is just wiped off the scoreboard. We move straight into the third period, a final 3 minutes of fencing, and it's Sun who has the advantage. Goram cannot step off the gas here. She has to keep pressing. She has to keep Sun working for at least defending herself, because if she doesn't, then another period of non-combativity is called, and then we'll go into a sudden death final minute. you see GORAM here is prepared to go and take the attack to Sun, but Sun lands a double. Still way too early to call this, of course, but GORAM has to keep pressing. She has to try and get level with Sun at the very least. That one was off the side of the piece. No hit will be given there. Oh, they get close together there. GORAM lifted her leg up. There's going to be an appeal from the Chinese fence there. Unorthodox. I don't think any contact was made, but strange that GORAM would lift her knee up, perhaps in a bit of a sort of defensive mood more than anything else, to try and protect herself from a potential clash of bodies with Sun. Again, these attacks from GORAM are the right way forward. She's just not building them enough. She's not making enough of a surprise, and Sun is able to land a double hit. So the status quo remains the same. We're too far away from 15 hits for doubles to be playing too big a part at the moment, but it won't be too long before that becomes the case. GORAM working hard. That's Sun pinned to the back line. Goes for a bit of an evasive move across the piece, using the piece laterally. You see that quite often. The fencer will move from one side to the piece to the other. It confuses your opponent who tries to land the hit, and all of a sudden the opponent's body is not anywhere near the tip of the sword as they've moved across the piece. So now GORAM has no choice. She's got 1 minute and 20 odd seconds to save opportunity here to fight off for gold. And these attacks from just a little too far away are being picked by Sun, who's able to just step back and stick her arm out and land a double. Extra reach on the pommeling grip of Sun is starting to make a difference in this match. GORAM has to press. She gets a hit round underneath the wrist. That's a nice change of tactics there. Wrapped up her opponent's blade. She moved her blade across her opponent's and then did a circular movement to take hold of Sun's blade and then managed to get a hit underneath the wrist. And sign of don't worry from Sun to Coach Aubrey in the technical area. Don't worry, I've got this one under control, she's saying. I'm glad she can be so confident with just a 10-9 lead. Distance is too big for GORAM. She's got to close it up. She's got to get within striking distance. She's got to get into the danger zone in terms of distance to try and create an opportunity. Now, sitting outside a hitting distance is no good. GORAM's got to close in. She's got to close the distance. Attacking from that far out is just not going to work. Sun has proven that right the way through this match. She's able to land doubles at an astonishing rate of accuracy. GORAM has to close the distance up. She has a little bit. It's a little bit better. She must do this. It's fine to get a double when you're trying to score the leveling hit. But the distance has got to be right. She's got to get closer. That's the risk that she's taken. She's left it a little bit too late for me, and now she's having to rush. She can't build the hit. And again, too far away. Sun is just too good. Skips out of distance. And there it is. Sun wins the tactical battle. It's been a great day for Melissa GORAM. There's no need for her to be upset with her performance there. Tactically got it slightly wrong at the end, but Sun Yiwen is the world number 6 for good reason, and she will go on and contest the gold medal with Estonia's Irina Embrek